At the gateway to the west, Monster Jam is in St. Louis, Missouri, the home of the Arch for Stadium Championship Series East. This is week 4 of Monster Jam in 2024, but it is week 3 on this series. Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger has taken a big lead in the points standings. However, there are two drivers, Tristan England in the JCB Digatron and Tom Meents in Max D, who are really close, but they're going to need to close that gap this weekend. Will either of them be able to do that? Will anyone else be able to make themselves competitors on this series? Or will Tyler Menninga just get further and further away? Find out next on Monster Jam.
Hello everybody and welcome.
Hello everybody and welcome. Hello everybody and welcome.
Oh, boy! Oh, 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 yeah!
Top of the evening, everybody, and welcome to another commentary here on the channel. I am the Arizona Motorsports Junkie, and today we are in St. Louis, Missouri, and as we have done in every first event on this series, we have to show you the new body, Tom Meents in Max D. What has he got for us this weekend? Here he comes onto the track, and there you have it, the beautiful spiked Max D body, a classic. And a body that lasted for such a long time, and honestly, I'm not shocked that this is the body for the weekend. After we got Maximum Destruction last weekend, this is really the second most used Max D body, so not a shocker. So cool to see that thing out here. But he has 11 other drivers competing alongside him on his farewell season. Let's meet them. Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. He's had a lot of troubles with his two trucks. His son, Michael Pagliarulo, and Kraken, those two things have really not had a great start to the season. Hopefully, they will be better this weekend. Lindsay Reed, the Lucas Stabilizer. She's back. She was away last weekend. Good to see her back in St. Louis. Ryan Disharu, Shaker, had a bit of an off weekend last weekend in Houston. Hopefully can pick it back up this weekend. Jamie Garner, El Toro Loco, having a pretty good year so far, the same he normally does. Tyler Duke, Megalodon, been really killing it in the skills competition this year, hoping he can get it in the other competitions. John Gordon, Bad Company, finally broke out last weekend, won freestyle in that final event in Houston. Bryce Kenny, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, is having himself a quite nice year so far in 2024. And this man as well, Cole Bernard, the Black Pearl, did a reverse backflip last week. What a stellar way for him to cap off Houston. Tristan England, JCB Digatron, right up there in the top of the point standings behind this man, Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. Tyler has been so good this season. He is off to a rip-roaring start, and it's no shocker that he is where he is in the point standings. But that man on the screen, Tristan England, he's pretty close. He's hanging around, trying to get himself to that number 1 spot, and pretty cool to see Tristan in the second place position entering this weekend. But will St. Louis shift it up even further? Let's find out as we start with Monster Jam Racing. And here we are with our first matchup of the day. We have two independents going head-to-head. Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl taking on Matt Pagliarulo in Jester. Good to see Matt Pagliarulo running this truck. Has had so many problems in 2024. Kraken's had even more, but the truck is really not getting itself going into that turn. Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl with a pretty big lead over the first main jump in the Chicago-style racing. We'll go through the final turn. Pagliarulo needs to make up a lot of ground, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to seal the deal. He did make up some ground, but spun out at the very end. Black Pearl, your winner here in round number 1. A slow time, though, 27.947. We're used to seeing 26-second times. That's definitely going to need to be improved there for Cole Bernard. Our next race, Michael Pagliarulo is here in Kraken taking on Ryan Disharu and Shaker, who's going to have to go around Kraken, who spun out in the center of the paperclip. I don't know what's wrong, if there's something wrong with that truck mechanically, but nonetheless, it's going to be a pretty easy victory. Essentially a bye run for Shaker. Not going to get a great time, though, because he had to slow down a little bit with Kraken being in the way. Kraken will be able to pull off, so maybe not some major issues. It still is a 27.015, your fastest time so far tonight. Our next race, we get Bryce Kenny, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, taking on John Gordon, Bad Company. Bryce Kenny already has a win this season. We'll see if he can grab his second racing win of the year. That inside of the paperclip, no one's really nailing it perfectly. You can see it's got a lot of drivers washing out a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we go throughout the rest of the night. John Gordon, Bad Company, has a lead so far, entering in that final turn. Bryce Kenny trying to make up the ground. He's getting a lot of speed through there. It's a close race. We go across the line. It looked like Bad Company from there, but we'll have to check or see the replay. Bryce Kenny, good job at keeping that truck from flipping over there. And your winner is, in fact, Bad Company, your first sub-27-second time. Our next race, we have Lindsey Reed, Lucas Stabilizer, taking on Tristan England, JCB Digatron. And while the center of the paperclip has been a bit of a problem, it's nice to see that the outside turns in the Chicago-style racing is really not an issue this weekend so far. Last week in Houston, a lot of drivers were getting kicked up in that tacky dirt. Seems to be a little bit more of an even playing field out there this weekend and a bit of a better surface. We're seeing so much more smoother racing at those high speeds. Tristan England, no problem here today. He has taken down Stabilizer in round one. Tristan England, 27.246, a slower track today. Definitely, it's a good second slower than we're used to seeing. Our next race takes us into round two. Tom Meents, Max D takes on Colvinard, the Black Pearl. You know, I never was the biggest fan of the spiked Max D body. It got old after a while, but it's so cool to see it back here. It feels so nostalgic to have it back. It's been a couple years. And right now, the spiked Max D has itself a bit of a lead. Black Pearl had some problems in the center of that paperclip, trying to make up the ground in the end. Tom Meents turns it a little too soon. Colvinard takes advantage and wins. Max D couldn't quite nail that turn, and unfortunately, Tom Meents is heading back to his parking spot at the end of round two with no more races in sight tonight. Tough break there in a 27.557. Yeah, the 27s are the times tonight. Our next race, Ryan Disharoon and Shaker, Tyler Meninga, Gravedigger. If anyone can start cracking into those 26s, it'll probably be this man, Tyler Meninga, and if he can, he will probably have himself an easy victory tonight, but maybe someone else can try and get under that 27-second mark. That is seemingly a plateau tonight. Pretty close race right now, entering the final turn. Ryan Disharoon hanging in there with our series leader. Going around the final turn, Disharoon gets kicked up, and he is going to lose that race in the final turn. Meninga almost gets kicked up too. Things are starting to get a little bit tackier in those turns. Gotta watch that. The track is always evolving as the night of racing goes along, but Tyler Meninga, no different surface for him here today. 26.204, easily the fastest time of the night. Our next race, John Gordon, Bad Company, taking on Jamie Garner, El Toro Loco. Two beautiful orange trucks going head-to-head in round two. How will they handle these always changing track conditions? They handle the center of that paperclip well. It definitely seems like it's a little bit tackier in that center of the paperclip. You see these drivers really hitting the gas a little bit harder. Pretty close right now. Bad Company maybe with a slight lead, but really anyone's race entering this final turn. Gordon nailed the turn, and so did Garner. I don't know if Garner got the both front wheels on the ramp, though. They both had great turns there, and it is, in fact, a 5-second penalty to Jamie Garner in El Toro Loco. John Gordon is your winner of that race in Bad Company. Our next race, Tristan England, JCB Digatron, Todd LeDuc, Megalodon. Megalodon has not really been too much of a threat in racing this year. Will he be able to turn that around today? He is another one who's having some trouble with the inside of that paperclip, but Tristan England didn't really nail it well either. It's going to go to the Chicago-style racing, in which Tristan England has a good lead right now over the veteran. And Tristan England is in full control of this race across the line. He takes down the two-time world champion. Your reigning World Finals racing champion, Tristan England, is going on to the semifinal round. Look at that, a 26.592. The times are really important to note at the end of each race. Only 2 drivers have been able to get themselves into that 26-second mark. One of them is on the track right now, Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger. His opponent, Colvinard the Black Pearl, still trying to get there. He clips the turning bump and he gets on 2 wheels. That's going to hurt him, and Tyler Menninga now can slow it down and really head himself into the final round. This is the semifinals of racing after all, and Tyler Menninga trying to get some lane choice, but he really kind of laid back a little bit after he found out that Black Pearl had lost that race. Now, we will see who will head to the final round and take on Gravedigger. Will it be Tristan England, JCB Digatron, or will it be John Gordon, Bad Company? 2 drivers who have not won racing yet this year. England got up on 2 wheels for a second. Bad Company takes advantage. A slight edge to Bad Company entering the Chicago-style racing. England made up a little bit of ground, but he's still behind. The final turn will determine it all. John Gordon nailing the turn again. So did England. Across the line, Bad Company, your winner. John Gordon going to the final round of racing. He takes down your defending World Finals racing champ, and that is a big win for Gordon. He's looking fast tonight, and a good time at a 26.83, but he's going to have to speed that up a lot if he wants to win in the final round. Let's meet the competitors going head-to-head in the final round. In the near lane, the black and green wrecking machine, Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. He has been the fastest driver all night tonight, and he's leading the point standings. In the far lane, looking for his first racing win of the year, it is John Gordon, Bad Company. John Gordon has been fast, but nowhere near as fast as Tyler Menninga tonight. He's going to need to either have the best race of his life, or he's going to need Menninga to make a mistake. Which one will prevail here in St. Louis? St. Louis, always such a classical home to Monster Jam. Some incredible events have happened in this building, and so far, we're off to a good start today. Racing has been a lot of fun, but only one driver can walk out of here with that racing win. Which one will it be? They pull to the line. They are fully staged, awaiting the green, and they are off. Let's crown a winner tonight in St. Louis. The inside of that paperclip still not getting any easier, but they're dead even coming out of it. Maybe a slight edge to Gravedigger. John Gordon has been really nailing the turns, and he is hanging in there with Gravedigger, but Tyler Menninga certainly is in the lead. Gordon really trying to commit to get a faster time, and he loses it in the turn. Gravedigger, your winner. John Gordon was doing everything he could to lay down the fastest pass. He carried a little too much speed into that final turn, got up on 2 wheels, and that was the end. Tyler Menninga probably would have won anyway, but he still wanted to make it close. John Gordon's mistake costs him the race. And Tyler Menninga, your series leader, adding on to his points total, pulling away even further, and his winning does not stop.
That final round, I knew John Gordon was fast. He had lane choice going into that round. I knew it was all or nothing. I ran that Gravedigger truck as hard as I could. But are you guys having fun at Monster Jam so far tonight?
Good to hear from Tyler Menninga. Let's get ourselves into the Skills Challenge. And leading off in the Skills Challenge is Mike Pagliarulo in Kraken, going for a bicycle, and he's going to go for about 2.5 feet. That's one attempt for Kraken. Going for his second move there. Got up on the sidewall, so he got it on the other side, and the Kraken overdoes it a little too much. Trying to save it, couldn't quite get it going in time. Got a little collector fire there too. So Kraken, not the greatest of runs, but made that second move a little bit better to make up for that rough first one.
You saw him maneuver into the opposite side using those other BKT tires.
Well, it's a 3.728. I gotta say, that's pretty fair. That's an accurate score. Probably pretty close to what I would have given it. Now Bryce Kenny, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. He's got it into a stoppie. Interesting to see him coming out so early, but that's because he got knocked out so early in racing. The skills order is reverse of how you place in the racing competition. In this skills challenge, I didn't mention it, but you can either do 2 moves on 2 wheels of your Monster Jam truck or 1 donut. And right now, Bryce Kenny moonwalking that 12,000-pound truck. A solid move, trying to combo it up there. I don't know, that was kind of 2 hits. Man, I would hate to be the competition manager on a stadium series. I would be way too strict. I would have had so many drivers disqualified. I would have been having that red light up there way sooner than a lot of these guys have gotten. Bryce Kenny, the Mohawk Warrior, walking it in a stoppie. Again, it is also important to note, if you do the same move twice, you got to try and change it up that second time, because It's all about uniqueness here in this skills challenge and getting to change it up. And he will set it down there. And again, that's not a combo. That is 4 hits now in that run. But Bryce Kenny will still probably take the lead with a good number. I'd say that's probably about an 8.6. Pretty good number. Well, pretty good number for me. I would assume that would be a pretty good number if he were to get it. He's out of the truck, fired up, getting those fans hyped. One of the hype mans of Monster Jam, Bryce Kenny.
Competitor here. You gave him a 7.856.
7.856? That's an interesting score. I mean, that's a lot lower than I thought it should have gotten, but I mean, considering that I did think that he really did 4 moves instead of 2, I kind of am glad that the fans deducted him a little bit. Now here's Lindsey Reed, the Lucas Stabilizer, walking a reverse popper. Now, you also have to remember Lindsey Reed didn't compete last week, and she already was not feeling very comfortable in this truck, so I don't anticipate her to be having really a great weekend in terms of getting comfortable in this machine as she tries to get herself back settled in. 2 okay moves here in the skills challenge, but she's got some room to grow here throughout the rest of this season. Our next competitor is Tom Meents, Max D. Got it up on the moonwalk, or on the backflip ramp, trying to do the maximum moonwalk. He's got it off, and that is 1 move right there. Okay, the truck actually fell off the ramp itself. He didn't try to do that. It just fell off, so I'm not going to count that as 2 hits. That is 1 move. I will count it as a combo there. Love this Max D body with the spikes. I also think they put a little bit less spikes on there than they used to have, but, I mean, I don't know. I could be very wrong. I normally am when I make bold statements like that. Moonwalking it back towards the backflip ramp, and we'll set it down. I think maybe from the top, it just looks like there's less than there actually are, but from the side, it looks about the same. It's just weird looking at it from the top. You can really tell there's really not too many. He's going for the racing lane, trying to pop it into the hoppy stoppy. Oh, but he couldn't get enough bounce off of it, and unfortunately, that second move is really a waste. Nothing at all. I wouldn't even give that the lead. I'd give that a good 6.2. That's really unfortunate for Tom Meents. He tried, but he couldn't quite get a good hit. There's his crew chief, Wyatt. 7.913. Why? He only did 1 move. All right. Well, thankfully it's not a very high score, but it is still your new leader for Tom Meents in Max D. Now we have Ryan Disherud, Shaker, and again, I mentioned it last week. I didn't know if that body he ran last week with the Turtle Box sponsorship would be going forward. It is not. Back to the backdraft style body this week, and he's got a little slap wheelie starting off his skills run. So it must have just been a local sponsorship for him last weekend, which was pretty cool to see. Nice to see drivers doing that once in a while. Going for a stoppie. Moonwalking it, combos it into a wheelie. That's a good move. And he'll, oh, he combos it 1 more time. You know what? I count that. He kind of got 4 little combos in there. A decent run from Shaker, but a 5.428 seems pretty fair, and that will not give him the top spot. Your next competitor, Jamie Garner, El Toro Loco. Throws it in reverse. That transmission didn't sound too well in there, but he was able to get the reverse popper. Walked a little bit of a wheelie, too. Now, I always am mentioning independents and feld drivers on this channel. I mean, there might be some of you who don't really know what I'm talking about when I say that. I'll get into it a little bit more in freestyle, but Jamie Garner's second popper attempt not really too well executed. That's going to hurt him. Our next competitor is Todd the Duke in Megalodon. So, for example, Todd the Duke is a feld driver. Jamie Garner is not. Jamie Garner is an independent driver. As Todd the Duke goes for a bicycle here. He's been really good at doing those moves this year. He gets 1 bicycle, didn't really do too much. I'll get more into it in freestyle so you can understand I have more time to talk about it. Going for a bicycle again. And he gets it into the moonwalk a little bit, but he overdoes it. Had too much momentum, and the truck couldn't keep itself on all 4s or even on the front 2. It ends up completely upside down. Megalodon is turtled. The Monster Jam Dirt Crew going to get that truck flipped over. Oh, wow. Jester having a drive shaft replacement. Shout out to Casey Gagliardi there for that stellar insight. Oh, but the truck's back on the track. Nice. Well, that's good to see. As we're hearing Casey Gagliardi talking about it, nice to hear her explaining it, and nice to hear Matt Pagliarulo back, and you could hear Casey saying, well, you couldn't, I did. He has been having a lot of problems with that drive shaft this year. He's actually had to replace it a couple times, replaced 2 just last weekend. Well, now we get to see Matt Pagliarulo competing here in this skills challenge. Man, a drive shaft definitely could end up being a major problem. You break a drive shaft, and that thing is really going to decrease the amount of power you can get, and it'll sometimes altogether remove all the power you have to either the front or the back wheels. Going for the jammer. A little slap wheelie, and we got a good little kick in there to get it going even more. Maybe he's pulling off again? I don't know. He just kind of moved his way over to the side of the track. What's he going to do here? Is he going to go for the side of the ramp to go for a sky wheelie? Yeah, he is. All right. That ramp's not really angled for a sky wheelie too much, so... Oh, but he comboed it in and was a little baby stoppy there. Well, that's interesting. 6.205. Little high of a score there, but I mean, the fans appreciating Matt Pagliarulo's efforts to get back out onto the track, so I like that. Now Cole Vennard, the Black Pearl. The last time we saw Cole Vennard, he was doing a wild skills move, did a reverse popper into a save, couldn't quite do that this time, and he also did a reverse backflip attempt in freestyle, which was wild. Let's see if Cole Vennard can follow it up with a great weekend here in St. Louis. The Dome at America's Center. Cole Vennard going for a bicycle. Didn't quite get a good kick off of it, but he walked it a lot further than I thought he would have been able to, and it's a 5.530. Next up, Tristan England, the JCB Digatron. Let's see what he can do. And I mentioned it a lot last week, and it's really, really important to note. He has not been getting the scores he's used to seeing, doing the same moves he would do in the arenas, doing a stoppie here. He's been doing a lot of combos, but because he's not really doing too much, the scores have not been so high, at least compared to what he's used to seeing. Comboing it into the wheelie. The fans are liking it here in St. Louis, and he's going to wave to the crowd with those front 2 wheels. Got that thing perfectly parked on the rear, just staring at the center of the Dome at the America's Center. Walking it, and he's going to walk it down the ramp. But again, like I said, that's a fun move, but in the stadiums, because it's not using up so much space, or it doesn't really have the big wow moment in there, it doesn't get the points and the scores he's used to seeing. So what's he going to try here? It's going to be a big learning curve this year, as I've already said a few times, for Tristan England to try and get himself the points he's used to getting. Crawling that puppy on top of the backflip ramp, paused right in front of the Morgan & Morgan sign. That's a nice sponsorship promo. Got a little stoppy, moonwalking it now, moonwalking it up the ramp. That's going to do it, though. He can't combo that. No. I taught you well, Tristan. That's a little too far. A little too far on the combo attempt there. He didn't walk it too much more, though, so I'm not going to really tick off too many points. But again, that's a good run, and that's the best run we've had tonight. But in the arenas, that run would be getting a 9.4 without question. But in the stadiums, let's see what it gets. It is such a learning curve, and it's a 9.114. All right, so Tristan England got the score he's kind of used to seeing, which is something he has not had this year, but I'm sure it's a refreshing feeling. Be like, man, I finally got rewarded for the run that I've been doing forever. And then he's won so many of those competitions with the same exact run. But the competition is way more tight and way more talented at the stadium level. You can't just walk away with a skills challenge win because you did a wheelie and a stoppy combo. It's just not going to work. John Gordon, Bad Company, your next competitor here in skills, lining up for a popper off of the log on that side, and he gets a great kick off of it. And see, I don't know what it is, but something about moving back and forth that much just feels a little bit more exciting than what Tristan England does, because he's not walking it as fast. He might be walking it a long way and walking it back and forth, but it's about the speed and pace at which he's doing it. John Gordon, a good example of doing it a little bit quicker, which is what makes it more interesting, but not a great 2 moves there for Gordon. I don't know if there's something wrong with the truck, but he couldn't quite It was almost like he didn't even try to do it, but that's probably just the way it looked. I'm sure he was attempting to do a little bit more, but the truck wasn't allowing him. That's a 6.280. Tough break for John Gordon, but, you know, this has not been a very high-scoring skills challenge, so it still could end up leading him to a pretty decent number. But our final competitor here in skills has a chance to run away with it, Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. Not only did he win racing, but he has a good chance at doubling down. Tristan England, the JCB Diggatron, in the top spot with a 9.114. Tyler Menninga, Gravedigger, trying to get himself the top spot as well. Currently walking the moonwalk up the ramp. He's got it up on top of the ramp, and he's going to set it down right there. He somehow managed to get a reverse wheelie over that ramp, too, in a combo, which I guess kind of counts. But Tristan England most definitely with a better first attempt than Tyler Menninga had. So Tyler's going to need to pick it up here in move number 2, because I think JCB Diggatron has to be sitting pretty right now. Menninga walking the bicycle. Can he get it into something more interesting? No, it sets down right there. Ah, no. You already set it down. That doesn't count. Can't count that for points. Man, there's so many of these 3-move, 4-move skills runs. I would be having a field day out here. It's a good run. That shouldn't win. It shouldn't. Ah, wow. They gave him the win with a 9.365. I very heavily disagree with that. That was not the best skills run. Tristan England was way better. But the fans have spoken in St. Louis. These fans have been around for a long time. They sure love their Gravedigger, and they showed it there by giving a typical Gravedigger higher score than he deserved because he's in that truck, which is too bad. But you know what? At the end of the day, Tyler Menninga still had a good run. Would have deserved second. It's a 1-point difference, but still would have been nice to see Tristan England get that skills win. But before we head into the freestyle competition, we have a bit of a message from me about how you can join my channel as a member. Do you want to get early access to every single video that I post here on this channel? Well, you can. If you join today and become a member of the Arizona Motorsports Junkie Early Access Fan Club, you can get access instantly to every single video that I post. Skip the lines, watch commentaries 2 to 3 days in advance. You can join today by clicking the link in the description or by clicking the little join button at the top of my home screen. Head on over and join today. Let's start off Monster Jam Freestyle the right way. We have Michael Pagliarulo in Kraken. Michael Pagliarulo has been dealing with so many problems in this truck. They'll start off as St. Louis Freestyle with 2 minutes on the clock. Last weekend in Houston, this thing barely was able to run. It had motor problems. It had every problem under the sun. Good to see it having a full event so far here in St. Louis. Now, the Pagliarulos, they hail from Florida, so they don't get to go home and really get to dive into what's wrong with this problem for a good couple of weeks. I mean, this series, I'm sure, will go to Florida at some point, but right now, they are staying away from Florida and away from really any real ability to fix what could be going on with that truck. A little bicycle from Kraken. And this isn't even, Michael Pagliarulo isn't going to be the man who drives this truck long term. He's just filling in right now because Nick Pagliarulo has now become a father, which is such a great thing for him. He's been out since week 1 because his wife was pregnant and getting ready to give birth to a child, and such a big congratulations to Nick Pagliarulo. And the next time he comes out here to run, he'll be a new father. It'll be his first time running as a father, so really some very exciting news for him. Michael Pagliarulo backing it up all the way to the opening of the tunnel. Could he be lining up for some big air? He is surely lining up for it. Absolutely sent into the center of the track. That was some huge air, and Kraken with a little burst of flames out of the exhaust pipe after that landing. I hope the truck's okay. And he is done. You know what? He said, I'm going to drive this thing as hard as I can. I want to break this thing every chance I get. And with a 6.685, it's not a score he'd like to see, but at least he ended with a wow. Next in freestyle, this is Ryan Disharoon in Shaker. That beautiful old school Jeep body, launching it right off the bat, and that's how you announce your presence It's something that Scott Douglas used to say all the time. You want these drivers to announce their presence. And even Mark Schrader was saying it all the time. If you can come out here and announce your presence, it really lets the fans know that this is going to be a good run. Sometimes the fans aren't paying attention when you're out there. If you start with a boring move like, oh, I don't need to really focus on this run. But if you go out there with a big move, the fans go, ooh, okay, this guy's pretty good. I'm going to watch it. It's also likely going to increase your scores, increase participation in scoring, so certainly a great way to start. However, the truck sounds like it's maybe having some motor or transmission problems, but he also is running different exhausts, so sometimes it might just sound a little bit different. If I don't remember exactly how it sounded, nice leap right there. He might be running on maybe 7.5 cylinders. It's possible that that 8th cylinder is maybe faulty a little bit, but regardless, he is having a good run. So if there are truck problems, you wouldn't really know it. This is a very good freestyle to this point. He's getting a lot of big air, comboing things up. This is really a great run. We've seen some really fantastic freestyles from Ryan Disharoon this year. He loves to use those racing lanes too. Some of the biggest jumps he's had this season have come from those racing lanes. Going to the other one on the other side, getting some nice air again. Got it into a little slat wheelie too. Ryan Disharoon really turning into a great freestyler. I've always considered him a racer, but out here this season, 2024 is the year of freestyle for Ryan Disharoon. He's going for the backflip ramp. A little short. Oh my! A consecutive backflip and a little wheelie at the end. That was so unintentional, I think, but it was still superb. He's lost his hood. It was in his face for a second, but our first real consecutive backflip of the year, and that was awesome. So well executed, so well played by Ryan Disharoon to nail that move. The fans are loving it, and for your second run out tonight, that is an exclamation point in freestyle. He is absolutely loving it. Not only should he be able to take the lead, but he might be able to win freestyle with that. Why didn't we see the score? All right, well, I have to whip out the score for you. The score for Shaker, a 9.249. That's interesting. I really thought that might have been a bit of a higher score, but still, it'll put him in the top spot, and I think that could end up being your winner at the end of the day. That was a really good freestyle, and a lot of times, a consecutive backflip will seal the deal. Jamie Garner, El Toro Loco, he's announcing his presence just the same way that Shaker did. The same move, the same everything. Came up a little bit short on that one, but the rear end seems to be all right. Got to be careful when you land that short. You might break a differential, maybe even a drive shaft. That time he makes sure that he clears it perfectly. Landed straight in the center of that pod. Now Jamie Garner's truck is supposed to sound this way. It might sound a little different from the other trucks, but that's because it's a bit of a different exhaust system. Nice leap over the racing lane. Man, the momentum today from everybody is a step above. We're 3 trucks in. Everyone has had a really good freestyle so far. Everyone's going a lot faster. It seems like this week, week 3, everyone's got all of the kinks worked out and are finally really putting together their best events. It's also St. Louis. That might bring a little bit of extra fire out of these drivers. St. Louis is such a big place for a lot of these guys. Jamie Garner certainly having himself a good freestyle. So many big hits, big air. This is his best freestyle of 2024 so far. Maybe he'll even be able to throw in a backflip. I'm really loving the speed that Jamie Garner is having. This is a really good run. If he lands that backflip, oh, but a little bit of smoke coming out of the motor. I think everything's okay, though. I was worried that maybe something was about to explode in there. Thankfully, everything's all right. And a nice combo up there. 2 wheelies. Solid, solid, solid. This entire freestyle has been rock solid. Sounds like his transmission might be failing a little bit here towards the end, which is why he's not getting really as much power. He might only have maybe 1.5 gears here. He's certainly not carrying that speed he was before, but you can hear the revs The RPMs are way up there. Yeah, he's only got first gear, but it doesn't matter. It's at the very end of the run, and he had already thrown down a really, really good freestyle at that point. You see how that light is flashing there in the cab? That means that the RII was hit. The Monster Jam safety officials shut him down with the remote ignition interrupters. The truck did not shut itself off. So, unfortunately, that is not going to be your new leader, El Toro Loco, El Toro Loco getting the score of a 6.635, but a good run, a very good run. That brings out Lindsay Reed, the Lucas stabilizer. Will she be able to get all those kinks out as well? We've seen everyone really putting down their best runs of the year. Can Lindsay Reed be able to do so? She has really not done a single thing this season worth mentioning, so hopefully this season, or this weekend, she can really figure it out. Nice little sky wheelie. But, I mean, we saw it a little bit last week, and we've heard Lindsay Reed talk about it, even hearing Cynthia Gauthier talk about it. This chassis is very difficult to drive. It is completely different than anything else. She also might be having some sway bar problems there. The truck listing a little bit to the left side, so that could be a bit of an issue. Maybe not too bad, though. Could also just be the way the body is mounted that it's throwing me off, but it definitely seems like it's kind of leaning a little bit to the left. Nice air there, came up a little bit short, but again, as I mentioned in Jamie Garner's run, she avoided any major damage to the back end of that truck. Just waiting to get herself a big moment here. Nice leap that time. That was the biggest air she's had of the run. Really just trying to pull that thing around. It's almost like she's carrying a big trailer behind her. Could she be lining up for the 8-pack backflip? I think she is. There she is. Hitting the 8-pack, comes up a little short, destroys that front tie rod. That's going to end her freestyle, but still a solidly land backflip. That's her best moment she's had so far in 2024. She's feeling good about it too. Out of the truck, got her helmet off so that the fans can see her even better. Oh yeah, doing the honk the horn too for the honky tonka. And it's an 8.032, a pretty good number for Lindsay Reed. Won't be able to take the lead, but that's all right. Powering his way onto the track, this is Bryce Kenny in the great clips of Mohawk Warrior. He loves to really rev that motor. He's off with some big air. Man, a lot of people are announcing their presence tonight with some big jumps. Flying over that racing lane. Look at the air he's able to get off of that. Turning into a bit of a paper airplane that time. And again, another nice jump. I said it last week, they change up how the ramps are angled every single weekend and every single event. No event has been the exact same in terms of the exact angling of the racing lanes. Which is cool because it changes, basically makes it a different move every single freestyle. Bryce Kenny's had himself his fair share of really big moments already in 2024, and all my shorts that I've been posting from the commentary highlights, man, they've been really a lot of Mohawk Warrior highlights in there. Yeah, arguably the biggest moment of the year with this Mohawk twist. And if you want to see any of these highlights from these commentaries, be on the lookout for those shorts videos, because I post a ton of them. I've been really active on the YouTube shorts, posting highlights from all these commentaries. So make sure you're on the lookout for those because they've been doing really well. I've gotten a lot more views on them than the commentaries, so I'm keeping up with it. He's lining up for the backflip ramp. All right, a nice landing. Lost a couple of the body parts, the fiberglass flying all over the place. Fiberglass Mohawk Warrior body, not intact anymore. Not the best run Bryce Kenny has had so far this year, but still a pretty decent one. Oh my, lining up for that big jump. This thing will fly, and as it does, Mohawk Warrior lands hard into the center of the ramp. Man, oh man, that ramp will absolutely send you into the stratosphere. He didn't really get as big of air on it as you would have liked to see, but still, it was a big leap, and at least he threw in a wow moment there at the end. Shouldn't be enough to take the lead. Shaker obviously had a much better freestyle with that consecutive backflip. But a very good run for Mohawk Warrior. That is a solid 8.8, maybe 8.9. And it's an 8.397, a little bit low, but I mean, I also got to adjust my scoring system a little bit. The scores this year have been all over the place, but in the events in which the scoring has been pretty fair, like this one, you've seen a lot of runs like that are getting lower scores. Here's Matt Pagliarulo Jester. He's announcing his presence. It's almost like in the drivers' meeting, they were like, hey, let's really go out and send it on that first hit this weekend. Matt Pagliarulo, this beautiful red Jester. He's going back to that same hit he used the first one. Well, if it worked the first time, might as well try it again. Going right back to the well and gave him another pretty good move. This track, more so than Stadium Championship Series West, will really give you much more air. Stadium Championship Series West is about finding the wow moments, getting those wild saves, whereas this track really lends itself to that big air. All those big air shorts that I've been posting with the huge hang time, I'd say 90% of them have been from this series on this track. And I mean, maybe it's just because the driver talent's a little bit different. That series doesn't really have many drivers that are going to be going for that big air, and this series maybe has more of them, but I also think the track plays a big role in that. Matt Pagliarulo, a guy who loves to get that big air. It's really the one thing that he loves to do and the one thing he's known for in freestyle. Certainly getting some decent air, none really as big as those first two moves that he made. Could he be lining up for the backflip here? He did it last weekend, maybe 2 weekends in a row for Jester. Not really straight, but he's able to land it. And also in that backflip, you also can see underneath the fiberglass that it's coated golden underneath there. He's got a golden undercarriage for the body. That's pretty cool. So while it's red on the outside, it's gold on the inside. Gonna cross thread that ramp there. This is the best run Matt Pagliarulo has thrown down in all of 2024. One of the best runs he's had in a while. I'm loving it. This is really, really good. This is, I don't want to say this is peak Matt Pagliarulo freestyle, but it's certainly right up there towards the top. He was going to line up for one more big hit there, but he didn't have any time left, so he figured why try and ruin the truck when it already doesn't count. But he will park it right there on the center of the track, right in the center of house for a 7.260. And for Matt Pagliarulo, a 7.260 this season, I'm sure he's happy with that. He's battled so many truck issues, and man, good to see him laying down a good classic Matt Pagliarulo run. Now here's Todd the Duke Megalodon. I want Todd the Duke and Megalodon to have a classic Todd the Duke run. We have not seen a single one of them this year. Quite honestly, no offense to Todd, he has not had a single really exciting freestyle this season, which is so out of the ordinary for this man. A former World Finals freestyle champion. He literally has a freestyle move named after him called the LeDuc Leap, where he gets some absolutely insane air, once-in-a-lifetime air, that this man is a freestyler. That's what he's known for. It's what he does best. He's obviously great at all three competitions, but this season, he's really just done kind of nothing. He's really been a nothing burger out there, which is a shame. I don't know why, what the problem might be, but I have a feeling at some point this year, Todd the Duke is really going to whip it out, and he's going to get some insane air, and it's going to be like, finally, Todd the Duke is here. Where's he been? However, it doesn't seem like it's today, at least not yet. But, I mean, Todd the Duke in the last few years, I'd say for the last 4 or 5 years, has really been this kind of guy in freestyle where the first minute and a half is just fill the clock, and then he'll kind of turn it up 2 to 3 notches in those final 30 seconds. Maybe today will be one of those days. Normally he waits to land the backflip, and then once he does that, like a lot of drivers, he'll really pick up the pace. He comes up a little short too. The fish flipping over. Can he get the save? Oh yeah, he does! There you go. Todd the Duke has his wow moment. And now he can really turn it up. Oh, he kicks it off. Oh man, that is not the ending he wanted. Maybe it's not the end. Yeah, no, it is. I thought for a second he might be able to save that thing one more time. Well, there you go. Todd the Duke finally has a Todd the Duke-esque freestyle. Not in the way that you're used to seeing from Todd the Duke, but it was still pretty good. We don't know the score. The score for Megalodon is enough. Your new leader with a 9.294. That is a really, really good number for Todd the Duke. Megalodon is absolutely sitting pretty in that top spot. I kind of like Shaker's run a little bit better, but you know what? They were so close that I'm not too upset about it. Next up in Monster Jam Freestyle, Tristan England, the JCB Digatron, walking it into a slat wheelie. Tristan, I like that he's doing this to start off his freestyle runs, taking a page out of Todd LeDuc's book. Todd LeDuc used to do that all the time, starting his run with a slat wheelie, and then with some big air. Those are some really good 1 and 2 hits. That's announcing your presence too. I mean, it's been the event of announcing your presence. And getting some bigger air. Tristan England in these last couple of weeks, we've seen him turn it up a little bit more in each freestyle as he realizes that he really needs to do more than he's used to doing. He needs to kind of unbuckle the seatbelt a little bit more, not literally, but he's got to pull those pants up a little bit more. He's got to really try and rear back and just put down a killer freestyle. And so far, his pace and speed a lot better than what he's done so far this season. But a lot of it also comes with getting comfortable in the truck. It's a brand new chassis for him, so I imagine that as time goes by, he'll feel more comfortable. And today, this really seems to be the most comfortable he's looked. Skills was good. While racing wasn't his best, he wasn't like he was all over the place. It was still a solid run. And a good combo there into the wheelie. This is definitely the best freestyle Tristan England has had so far this season. But can he seal the deal, maybe even get a freestyle win? Nice jump. Comboing it up into the stoppie. I knew he was going to do it before he even did it. I mean, he led me into that. He lobbed it up for me. I alley-ooped it for him before he even did the move. That was just, I knew he was going to do it. You just know. Turning her around to the backflip ramp. Crab walking it to get lined up straight. Hits the backflip. Lands it well. Got it into a little moonwalk too. I also want to point out the backflip ramps now, they've got some ladders in there. I wonder if that's to either kind of straighten it out or to show you where you need to be hitting it, or maybe give you a bit of a better kick off the backflip ramp. Oh, look at that. He comboed it into a wheelie from absolutely nothing. And we'll shut it down right there. That was a really good run from Tristan England. I'd say that's his best freestyle of the year. And the way we've seen scoring so far tonight with a 9.2 at the top spot, I'd give that a solid 8.95. That was a really, really good run, and I think Tristan England's got to be feeling good about it too, getting more and more comfortable and getting more and more used to this truck with each run. What is it? 8.255, man. The St. Louis fans are giving some really low scores, but they've been really consistent, so I'm fine with it. Here's Cole Bernard, Black Pearl, and he's announcing his presence. I'm not a broken record today. I'm just saying he's announcing his presence a lot because everybody's been announcing their presence. You get to announce your presence. You get to announce your presence. You get to announce your presence. And it's been great. I mean, we've had a really, really fun freestyle. I've been really engaged in this freestyle. Nice little sky wheelie there. You know it's a good freestyle when I'm getting to just do straight play-by-play of pretty much everything that's going on, and it's only about 30 seconds of color in the freestyle run. Because with runs like this, with big air like that, I don't have to do any fill. I can just react to what's going on because everything has just been so great from start to finish. Now he's going to turn it around, hit it with some big speed from the other way. These drivers are also, as the weeks go along, getting more and more used to this track, which is something you also have to keep in mind. They know what they want to hit, how hard they have to hit it to be able to get the move they're looking for. A nice jump that time, and he really is coming into his own too. Did he break a tie rod? I think he did. He broke a front tie rod, but they're letting him run still. Now the truck has been shut off. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the end of the run, 5.706. They let him run with a broken tie rod for a moment, but once he got pinned in that corner, there was really no way out of it. He would have had no chance. But unfortunately for Cole Bernard, a good run, cut just a little bit short. Our next competitor in Monster Jam Freestyle, Tom Meents, the 14-time world champion in Max D, is not going to be running. Okay, looks like they're not going to be able to get Max D fired. Hopefully that doesn't mean he's done. Hopefully Tom Meents will get to actually freestyle. Sometimes there's just something wrong with the truck where you can drop him a little bit lower in the order. Thankfully, he never actually hit the track, so Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger will come out with a nice little lead there. And for once, I'm not saying he's announcing his presence because that really wasn't the biggest air we've seen to lead off a run tonight. Ironically, Tyler Menninga loves to announce his presence at the start of a freestyle. Nice little combo there. He also could see that one coming. He didn't really milk it either. He got a nice move and went right on with his run. It's a fine line with a move like that. You know, doing stoppies and freestyle are good for a couple seconds, but once you start doing them for too long, you're dragging it out, you're wasting opportunities, and your run loses the momentum that you had going. And freestyle is all about either it's one of two things, momentum or wow moments, and then a combination of both. Tyler Menninga loves having that momentum like the run he's got right now, the big air from jump to jump. He keeps that momentum high, and if you disrupt it for too long with a stoppie, the fans lose that interest or they forget how fast you were really going. And he's flying around to the backflip, completely not worried about his speed, going up to it. He lands it well, and he is going to keep on chugging. The truck shut itself off there. The remote ignition interrupter light was not flashing. We got our first donut of the day. Ooh, what do I want to give that? I'm going to give that just a regular old glaze. Oh my! That is insane air! He was absolutely vertical on that one. Bumps it off the left side. How did that truck get back on all fours? It wasn't even powered on, and it just flipped itself over. The truck keeps shutting itself off every time he hits the gas, but holy cow. That's the end of his run, but Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger had the great pace, the great momentum, the backflip, the huge air, and the absolutely random save that was so superb. That's a great freestyle, and that is your run of the night so far, without question. And thankfully, the Gravedigger effect should play in well here, and it does. A 9.409. Your best run of the night is now your new leader in Monster Jam Freestyle.
It has been an epic battle for first here in Monster Jam Freestyle. So John Gordon, Bad Company, our freestyle winner from last weekend.
Our next competitor in Monster Jam Freestyle, it's John Gordon in Bad Company. Coming off of a freestyle win last weekend in Houston, Texas. He won the final event. He is supposed to be coming out last year, but we still haven't seen Tom Meents and Max D. We're still awaiting to see if we will even get to see Tom Meents and Max D. Hopefully we do. But for now, John Gordon is going to try and knock out Gravedigger, and Kay Young put it perfectly. It has been an absolute battle. It has been World War III for that top spot on the standings for freestyle, and John Gordon trying to make his bid for a #1 spot. He announces his presence with big air as well. He's going to turn that thing around and line up for a big old sky wheelie. Man, that ramp is angled way steeper than it ever has been. And Tyler Menninga and John Gordon really taking advantage of it. John Gordon saw that hit from Tyler and said, I'm going to do that right away. It is so rare that you see a driver get that big of air right away. Monster Jam these days it's really turned into putting together 2 solid minutes, but making sure you fill the clock. So a lot of drivers will take it easy in those first 60 seconds, especially now with that new rule of a point being deducted from your score if you don't complete those 60 seconds. So if you take that big risk early on, you run the risk of flipping over and losing. But John Gordon, he's gotten himself close to the point standings now. He's a contender. He needs to lay down a really good freestyle run, maybe finish in the top 3 so that he has an actual shot. And he's also chasing a World Finals berth. This man wants to be in the World Finals. And the way to get there is by proving your worth, showing that you're good. A nice little nose pick there, and a combo into a moonwalk certainly adds to his total tally. I need to regain my breath there. I was just talking for like a minute straight. Sometimes I just don't know when to stop talking. That's okay. It's what made me so unique in the first place. Going for the backflip, it twists him off to the side, and he lost a wheel! The wheel just fell right off, and that's the end of the run. Bad Company. Ending with a different moment that we're not used to seeing anymore, Monster Jam. A wheel breaking off with an 8.426. John Gordon is not going to be too happy about that placement, but he still had himself a really good freestyle. That was really, really nice, and I said it last week, John Gordon seems to finally be developing into the driver we know he can be, and it seems like these last 2 events, John Gordon has finally kicked it in the right gear and is ready to have himself a stellar season. And the fact that he is so close to the top of the point standings, he's right up there with Bryce Kenny, with Tristan England, with Tom Meents, and even with Tyler And look at that, they're just dragging the tire off. Hoo-wee! Sounds like they're going to try and get Max D out there.
We got one short left, baby. 14-time World Finals champion, Tom Meents, Maximum Destruction.
Yeah, Tyler Menninga taking a page out of my book there. Sounding like a WWE wrestling announcer there. Tyler Menninga announcing Tom Meents. That was awesome. I didn't even need to say a thing. You knew who was coming? And how about that? I love that. Tyler Menninga, driver of Gravedigger. Gravedigger and Max D, the biggest rivalry in all of motorsports. But he's not worried about it. He is here to cheer on the man that everyone is here to cheer on in his final season as a Monster Jam competitor. The 14-time World Finals champion, Tom Meents. Max D is freestyling in St. Louis. And another one with some nice air. And a nice little combo. I don't need to say it, I'm sure plenty of you know, Tom Meents has had his fair share of wild moments here in this building. And look at the air over the racing lane. Absolutely turning into an airplane on that one. He was well up there in the air. I mean, it was a long jump. And another long jump. Max D turning this into a long jump competition. He wants that freestyle win. He's already got 2 of them this year. Why not add another? Going back for the racing lane. Even bigger air this time. And he got it into the hoppy stoppy. Something he tried to do his first time around. This time he's got it. Moonwalking that thing. What a move from Tom Meents. He is delivering in St. Louis. He's on a bit of a streak right now. He has won the first freestyle of each weekend, and it's week 3. He's got to deliver. Oh my God, look at the absolute air Tom Meents has turned into. Tom Meents Airlines. Max D is showing up on the St. Louis airport radar here this weekend, folks. Max D Airlines is ready to go, going for the backflip. He lands the backflip. We've got ourselves an old school Titan duel here. Gravedigger, Max D. Gravedigger in the top spot with a great freestyle. Can Tom Meents solidify it? He's going to need to keep up this pace, though. He's not going to win if he doesn't keep it up because Tyler Menninga ended strong. Tom Meents has to finish strong. Going into a donut. Let's give this one a maple donut. Getting some more big air. This is some of the biggest air we've seen all year. He hops it off the center ramp. Can he get a save? Tom Meents is whipping out the old school saves this year. Tom Meents is doing it every single weekend. Unbelievable. Tom Meents, Max D, is here to play in 2024. Give a round of applause for Tom Meents. Honestly, it's tight. It's so tight. Tyler had that big save at the end. So did Tom Meents. To me, that's your run of the night. Gravedigger had the great run. Tom Meents came out with the bigger air. Another awesome save. And Tom Meents is feeling himself this year. I am loving it. All right, the score is enough. Your freestyle winner, Tom Meents. Maximum Destruction. He has won the first freestyle of the weekend. All 3 weeks. He is having a magical year to wrap off his career. Absolutely stellar. I am drenched in sweat. This is superb. What a season for Tom Meents. I am hype. So exciting. Look at Tom. He's out of the truck. He's feeling 35 again. Look at Tom Meents. What a season for the professor. It is only week 3 for Tom Meents, and he has just been stealing the show. The year of maximum destruction continues. Oh, we're going to have to listen to what Tom has to say after this one. We've done it each week. His crew chief Wyatt's chasing after him like, no, Tom, where are you going? Tom, I'm trying to be a part of the interview. Where are you going? Classic Tom Meents, just running away from all of his crew guys. Doing a little parade lap for Tom Meents. Look at that. This is nostalgia right here. Tyler Menninga there to greet him, as he's done in every weekend. Let's listen to Tom Meents.
Freestyle win. I think you had everybody nervous, everybody on pins and needles, trying to see if that truck was going to start. Talk to us about that incredible freestyle action and what this victory means here in St. Louis.
Man, it's like so negative because we couldn't get it to start up. When we positively didn't get it to start up, we knew there was only one way we could drive it. And that was for you, the St. Louis fans. We drove Max D into the ground. I love you.
Oh, Tom Meents is so emotional in 2024. He knows it. This is the last time these fans are going to get to see him. So he has to go out there and go big every single time. He doesn't care if his body hurts, because it doesn't matter. For Tom Meents, this year is about giving back to the fans, and he is sure as hell giving back to the fans. I want to watch some highlights of that freestyle one more time. I mean, let's just relive the moment, shall we? Tom Meents let it off. That was his second move, and then he went back and got it even bigger. I mean, Tom Meents is just, he's been the best driver in 2024. He's been the most exciting. I mean, look at this air. He is really committed to going all out, and I love that. Tom Meents is committing everything to these fans. The huge air, the save right here at the end, too. I mean, that was one wheel. That was not a lucky save. That was Tom Meents being a damn good driver. So cool. Let's find out who the overall event champion is. He's standing right there. It's Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. So Tom Meents continues to steal the show. Tyler Menninga is leading this series. He keeps winning overalls, but at the end of the day, everyone remembers what Tom Meents is doing. Max D keeps being the man at the end of the night. No one cares about Tyler Menninga anymore because Tom Meents is doing what he came here to do, and that's dominate. But Tyler Menninga, man, what a season he is having so far. Continuing to dominate, continuing to grow his lead. There's still one more event, though. He has to keep that up tomorrow night, and he has still plenty of time left on this series to let it falter. But right now, I don't think there's any signs of slowing down. Tom Meents is having a killer year, but Tyler Menninga is absolutely dominant. Thank you so much for watching. Let's look at the upcoming commentary schedule. There you have it, your upcoming commentary schedule. And I put a poll in my channel a couple days ago about whether you would like to see the commentaries be the same way that they are right now, doing the Saturdays then the Sundays, or if you want to see all of one series first, then another. It seems like a lot of people, at least at the time of recording this, most people like the way that we have it, going the Saturdays first, then the Sundays. So I don't think the upcoming commentary schedule is going to change at all. But in the event that for some reason hundreds of people come in and vote the other way, then this is the way things are going to stay. So don't be surprised if something magically changes in the next commentary, but this is the way things are likely going to look going forward the rest of the season. I'm glad to get some of your guys' input because I know that people have ways that they maybe want to see it that's a little bit different than the way that I do it. I always want to hear your guys' opinion on what you want to see me do on this channel. This is a channel for you, just like Tom Meents is having this season. This is a channel for you, the viewers. I'm glad you guys are enjoying 2024. I'm having a blast. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.